most often than not, the things that prevent any of this is a lack of understanding of who we are and accepting who we are. A lot of people either don't know who they are, or they are struggling with who they think they know who they are. Right? So, and therefore they're always hiding. There are people also that have some fears in their life, and they're overprotective against those fears, that they are attracting those things, the very thing they are fearing, they are attracting into their life. Right? Just meditating yesterday, and a lot of people are not married because they are scared that if I get married, I'll marry the wrong person. And because they are so conscious of looking for the right person, they have not been able to say yes to anybody. Because they're looking for a perfect partner. And there's no perfect partner. They're looking for a perfect partner. There is no perfect partner. So they are looking. I'm looking for perfect partner. I'm looking for perfect partner. Oh, this one is too good. Oh, this one is this one. This one is that one. And they're almost going to their grave, and they are yet to marry. Because that which they fear has consumed them so much. It's eating them up. Right? The way to life is to understand who you are. I mean, I've grown a lot by doing this personality studies, I am a strange person. My personality is strange, right? So can understand that I had difficulty understanding myself, right? I'm an introvert, right? But I'm an introvert that's like an extrovert. That's a bit confusing, there's a name called that we'll give to that. They're called Sigma personalities, right? We're like the alpha, or we're the introvertic alphas, right? So it helps to understand who you are, to know your strengths, to know your weaknesses. It helps you to understand why you feel this way, you feel that way, you have this tendency or that tendency. It's not to use any of those as an excuse, but when you understand it, then you can work on it. Life will not take any excuse from you. Say, hey, it's because I'm an introvert. That's why it's this. Hey, it's because that. Nobody's going to take that from you. But it's understanding, why do I do this? Why do I gravitate this way? Why is it that everybody's gravitating that way, but I'm not gravitating that way? Why is it that I don't jump at this while everybody's jumping at it? When you understand that, and if your job requires that you jump at it, then you can work it out to manage yourself around it, right? You now know that this might be natural for every other person, but for me, it's not natural. But if I've chosen this path to go, I have to then work out a strategy by which I can achieve the same aim, but still as myself. So understanding yourself is not for the intent of giving excuses, but to be able to trump the limitations of your life. Use your strength and trump the limitations of your life. Right? But that helps. That helps. Just remember me sitting there in front of strangers, and I'm all jittery. I remember sitting in the dining hall, and some lady comes to sit opposite me, and I'm also conscious of what to say, what not to say, how to relate, how not to relate, I still remember the lady that came to visit me after my NYC, I wasn't used to it. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to carry myself. I was just so much inside of myself. I thought I had a snake spirit, because I was holding myself. What will I say? you know, So, but that was just because I didn't know me. I didn't have experience in that wise. The only person I was chasing at that point in time never gave me a high. So we never really became a friend. So I never really practiced how to be a friend to the opposite sex at that point in time. I've learned. And today it's easy for me to do. I can relate to that about anybody. You know, I even hug a lot of people today easily, right? But that's not where I'm coming from. This is me that has grown. This is me that has learned because I've got to understand myself better. I've grown to accept who I am. I've grown to then use who I am to become a better person. And everybody can do that. Everybody can do that. You just have to start where you are and begin to grow. Don't be too conscious of yourself. There's something you can give. There's something in which other people need from you. Nobody is useless. God has not created anybody that's useless. Everybody has something to give. Just go how to give that thing. People will accept you because they need it. Right? That's the way to make friends. Make friends is to know you have something to give and people need it. So give it. If you give it, people will gravitate towards you. You'll be a friend. But the problem is people go out to, instead of giving, they want to take. What can I take? What can I bless by this? Oh, what can he give to me? Oh, I need. And people will run away from you. Everybody has their own problem. People are not going to gravitate towards you if all you do is I need. People will run away from you. They have enough problem. They don't want you to add to their problem. But if you go out there to give, people will love you. People will make space for you. Right? So we have friends in these three categories and they are all important. But what helps us is understanding ourselves. When we understand ourselves, then we're able to optimize this, right? So the book goes on and says, along with the natural ebb and flow of life, each of us has an habitual approach to friendship, which is all I've said. We all have a way by which we approach friendship, which is basically based on who we are. Our personality will habitually determine how we will flow towards friendship, our personality. But we don't have to be a slave of our personality. We can trump our personality. Our personality is our instinctive tendency towards friendship, but we don't have to be a slave of that because we're human beings. God created us with something that he did not give to animals. Animals live by instinct. Animals are the mercy of their personality. If it's time for birds to migrate, once that time comes, like they start migrating. It doesn't matter whether there's fire where they are going to or not. They must migrate because it is time to migrate. If you see those buffoons going through water, once it's time to migrate like this, they start migrating. Even it means that some of them will die. The crocodile will hit some of them as they are going, but they must migrate because they don't have what we have. We have the ability to make judgment. Animals don't have the ability to make judgment. God has given to human beings the ability to judge the situation and make a decision. We are not at the mercy of our instincts. We are not at the mercy of our personality. We can judge a situation and do differently. We can do differently from our personality. We can do differently from our instinctive tendency. We can judge the situation. That is the reason why God will not judge animals, but God will judge humans. When we stand before God, both in this life and in the life to come, we will not be able to give an excuse and say, God, it's because I'm an introvert. Oh, that's why I did it. Oh, God, it's because I'm an extrovert. That will not stand because God gave us something other than our instincts. God gave us something other than our personality, is our ability to make decisions. Our ability to make decisions. Even though this is my tendency, I can decide to do otherwise. And that is, we call that leverage. It's a leverage God has given to us as human beings. And that we need that to be able to win in the area of companionship, in the area of friendship, in the area of relating with one another. We're not fish inside water, must do as that don't have a choice, like people say. People that run after everything in skirt. Oh, it's fish in water now. Oh, fish in water must do it. Oh, I'm a man. That's the reason why I run after skirt, because I'm a man. That won't stand. God will judge you both in this life and the life to come. Other than your sexual tendency, there is something he has given you called judgment. The ability to judge the situation and make a decision. The ability to envisage what the end result will be. And based on the end result, you can make a decision. And you can tell yourself to do otherwise than what your instinct is telling you. That God has given to us is a God tendency in man. And God will judge based on that. Amen. All right, our time is up. There's 2 minutes here, then will be 1 hour. Anything you want to say before I shut it down? We'll continue here next week.
Nothing really.
Good.
Or at least I picked up something that, of course, God will not judge animals because we are from humans based on our abilities to make choices. And of course, we can always weigh our choices by looking at the end results.
Absolutely.
That's a good take home.